Hey, what is going on, guys? This is Noah and Alyssa, and today, because everyone's been demanding more content from us, we decided we'd make what everyone probably has been looking forward to. I mean, it's been a very pressing thought on my mind, so I really thought this one out. We hopefully have it planned. It'll be very scientific, definitely, and we are going to find out how long the tape inside of Billy Joel's Greatest Hits Volume 1 and 2 cassette tape runs. What I mean by that is the physical length from beginning of the tape to the end, it will go in feet. So, we are going to begin our measurements and our process. Let's get to it.
Go.
Okay, so for this, we are going to have to take all of the tape out. So that is our first step. I know it is as awful as it was to me to actually take this out, because I am feeling the pain with this. You know how much I love Billy Joel, and I'm having to just desecrate one of his cassette tapes. Luckily, I did have a duplicate. So yes, this will be very scientific with tons of scientific precise measurements. Definitely, like, the scientific method will be fully implemented throughout this whole process. As we continue to drain the tape from this cassette tape. We are going to tie it to the fence just to keep it in place.
And we're going to tie it so that this is like here, or as close as possible, because that's where the actual tape...
Yes, this clear stuff doesn't actually have any data on it. It's just like this, so it doesn't just unravel itself. So we're going to try to get as close as we can so that it actually starts with...
I nailed that.
The black tape. Now the process begins of looping it through the whole backyard. Now, with any kind of forethought, one may have made it so that the tape didn't get stuck before you even had made it all the way across the first time. Unfortunately, we had that lack of forethought. Of our many mistakes, I'd say the largest was that we let so much out, because now we're having to slowly twist it all back into the cassette so that we can loop it within the fence and continue the process. If you try this at home, please use tape. I advise it, because it'll help keep things in place if you have any situation like the one we have here. The situation has rapidly gotten worse, and we are unsure of our success rate. We all know that no one really cared what happened to that one. Actually, what you all were wanting to see was an 8-track of Billy Joel's The Stranger. Let's do it.
Okay, so now we're cutting it so we don't run into the same problem that we had with the cassette tape. And we're going to try this an entirely different way. Oops,
remember, scientific method, guys.
Yeah. You just keep trying things until they work out. It's very scientific. How long do you think this is going to be? What's our new hypothesis?
I don't know, around 188 feet.
Okay. We have it tied, and it's getting dark rapidly, so we're going to try and get this done. And Noah is carefully pulling this one.
I'm going to be very careful as to not make any mistakes that we found do not work in part 1 of this video. Luckily, no one cared about that album. No one was even asking that question. Little did we know that people were asking about Billy Joel's The Stranger. Ironically, this tape's depleting very quickly. Whereas the cassette tape, I think, could have gone for miles.
Miles?
Maybe, I would not think it's crazy to say it could have gone for like half a mile.
Yeah.
That was really long.
Yeah.
This one, I'm thinking, may not even make it a full 2 loops, as we are more than halfway through this process.
Oh my.
But we continue to progress.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, the tape ended up being depleted on our first test run of this experiment, leaving us without tape. So Alyssa has to stay there and hold it on that end, since we couldn't fit the whole 8-track through the fence. But we are rapidly reaching our final destination as I continue to hope I don't make any more mistakes by falling over backwards and breaking the line right next to me. Unfortunately, blatant stupidity caused it to rip. Luckily, it reaches exactly to the end of the second length, so it actually staying up isn't important at this moment. As day becomes night, we reach the end of our cycle with just a little bit of our third trip back. Or, I don't know, we went from this end to the other end back to
It's getting loose.
This end.
Hold it tighter.
Oh, sorry. Narration comes first.
Okay, this is 13 and a half feet.
13 and a half feet. Now we must measure the rest. As you can see, two full lengths cover from that end all the way here and back. Now we measure the whole length. As you can see by this floor plan, the length of the house is 17.6, and we have a fence
17.5.
0.5. Scientific method.
I just did that outside.
And then the length of the house to the fence was an additional 12 and a half feet, bringing the grand total length of the Stranger 8-track by Billy Joel to a whopping 192 feet. Mm-hmm. Only 4 feet off from our estimate.
What was our estimate?
188.
Okay.
Very impressive.
Okay.
Not to mention, we were able to find a second life for some items that I would have otherwise got rid of. Don't worry, I had a duplicate of this. Unfortunately, this was my only copy. Thank you guys so much for watching. Very scientific, very serious. I hope nobody interpreted this to be funny. We hate funny people and funny things.
Yeah, we hate that.
Yeah.
Hate joking around.
Yeah.
This was not ridiculous in any sense of the word.
Well, now you're starting to make it sound like you're being sarcastic, which...
No.
Sarcasm is almost as bad as being funny.
No, I wasn't. It isn't ridiculous. This is truly scientific, and I think I will use it as my research project that I have to do for college.
All right, well,